Today, we're going to talk about leadership credibility and the top 5 mistakes I see time and time again during my leadership research that destroys managers' credibility across corporate. The truth is, most leaders don't lose credibility overnight. It's the result of small, consistent mistakes that go unnoticed until it's too late. These 5 recurrent credibility killers derail even the most talented leaders. And today, I'm going to share what they are and how to prevent them. By the end of this video, I am confident you will know exactly how to avoid these mistakes and strengthen your leadership reputation for the long haul. By the way, I am Ruth and I have delivered over 100 million in savings and cash gains for top companies in America. And now I teach other leaders how to do the same. Alright, the mistake number 1 is having a lack of acumen. No big picture thinking. As leaders, it's our job to see beyond the day-to-day task. If we cannot connect our team's work to the bigger picture, we'll lose their trust and the respect of higher-ups. The most common mistakes I see in leaders is focusing only on short-term wins without understanding how they impact long-term goals and being unable to answer questions about industry trends or the company's direction. I once worked with this leader who was great at executing the goals they handed to him, but he lacked context. So he performed fast and influenced his team to follow, but he was too comfortable following instructions. He never connected his mission and goals with the big picture of the company. So his results lacked depth, limiting his impact and creating rework for him and his team. Every time they updated senior management on their progress, they were constantly receiving feedback about things they missed. And they missed them because he, the leader, was not aware of a lot of industry contexts and situations in different departments. So every detail had to be given to him, which of course is not how a leader should work. A senior professional must do research, learn, and understand the context and industry to truly excel at their delivery, and then explain that context to their team. Alright, the fix is simple. Start reading about your industry and understand your company's goals. When you are a leader in a big corporation, you must understand the strategy, goals, and industry competitors, and how the big goals are connected to yours. In a small company, this is way easier, right? Because you are very well connected with everyone. The smaller the company, the more understanding you will have of everyone's roles. In big corps, navigating politics, organizations, and microcultures, it's a whole other challenge. But being savvy in your industry and company will give you a necessary edge to connect the dots. It will make your team more valuable because you will explain them all that context so they understand how important they are to the corporation. Therefore, they will have purpose and they will improve their results because they are connecting everything. Having that clear picture of end-to-end company's operation and goals makes you optimize your delivery and team results for that cohesive company's vision. Thus, your results recommendations will 10x and thus your reputation, credibility, and authority. Alright, the second mistake I often see that makes leaders lose their credibility is hiring terrible talent on repeat. Unfortunately, your credibility takes a hit every time you bring in someone who is a bad fit. A poor hire doesn't just impact the team, it reflects poorly on your judgment and leadership. So this typically looks like rushing into the hiring process because you're desperate to fill a role or ignoring red flags during interviews. These actions shows that you are not good at assessing people. And for you to be a leader, it's crucial that you know how to assemble a team. If you have to hire and fire constantly, you won't be able to move things forward fast and with the quality you need because you will be in a constant onboarding and hiring process instead of having a mature team that already knows what to do and you focusing on the direction and improvement of the process because your team has your back. Obviously, this applies to more complex roles like finance, IT, legal, and engineering. If you are in charge of a more operational team where your employees have to follow a system to do their work, this will be a lot easier because it's not the same to hire good project managers or engineers to develop or improve a software of a company. Those are jobs that require a lot of problem solving and creativity and thus a well-thought hiring process versus jobs that are more operational and that the employee just has to follow a manual to perform their daily task. So context is crucial, but many corporate jobs tend to require sophisticated talent. I will tell you a story. When my husband and I were remodeling our home, we needed workers to help us. So the hiring process was very simple. We reviewed the portfolio of contractors, saw the recommendations, talked with them to see who had the best work ethic and experience for what we needed. The contractor then hired other workers to do the different tasks, and he just had to explain them the steps and they followed. A simple enough system with some instructions and clear guidance about what they had to do over and over. Versus in one of my latest jobs in corporate, where I had a team that managed more than 10 different financial responsibilities. Each needed a very unique skill set, and most responsibilities had new requests and issues that were not in any playbook or SOP for them to know what to do in these scenarios. I needed a smart people capable to create solutions, ideas, and recommendations. The team would not be limited to follow instructions. They would need to do so many things, from resolving, creating, and ideating to talking with people, influencing, researching, and then proposing those recommendations and ideas. So the skills will always vary depending on the role. Hiring that financial team required a detailed hiring blueprint, because problem solving and creativity cannot be taught. It can be assimilated though. But for the team to deliver the results expected from us, I needed an A-class talent who delivered from day one, because expectations on my team were huge. It took me months to assemble the right people for that team, versus a contractor who took one day to find the workers. Alright, so to avoid losing credibility, remember that they will measure your leadership skills against your team's capacity and results. Thus, use a hiring blueprint. Define the skills, the values, and traits you need before the interview process starts. And then create a process for the hiring, questions, and evaluation tailored to your needs, to what you are looking. By the way, if you need help in any of these topics, I am here to help. If you would like to work with me, you can apply in the video's description. And also, remember to subscribe to my channel to continue learning about leadership strategies and all my research about these amazing topics. Alright, the third mistake I often see is avoiding accountability. Nothing destroys leadership credibility faster than blaming others for failures or refusing to take responsibility for bad decisions. These are the type of leaders who point fingers at their team when things go wrong, coming up with excuses instead of owning their mistakes. For me, this is one of the worst traits a leader can have, a leader who blames their team on poor results. I mean, come on, you hire them, you manage their onboarding, this is on you, not them. I once met a manager who always blamed everyone else. She never took responsibility. And she was very lucky because higher-ups loved her and had her back. They did not reprimand her for her team's mistakes, but she completely lost her team's respect. Eventually, she changed and started to take more accountability. She kind of shared that accountability with her team, but started to take responsibility with higher-ups instead of blaming her team. And her employees forgave her because they all saw her evolution and stayed with her. And I tell you this for you to know as well, that if you are making any of these mistakes, you can change. You're not doomed. We can change, we can learn, and most people will forgive you. Alright, so to avoid losing credibility by not owning our mistakes, what we need to do as leaders is to have a mindset shift. We are no longer individual contributors. If our team wins, we win. If they lose, we lose. The result is a reflection of our work. How well trained, hired, and nurtured they are is a direct reflection on our leadership duty. Alright, the fourth mistake is poor communication skills. As a leader, how you communicate matters as much as what you communicate. If you can pitch your ideas clearly or stay composed under pressure, people will start questioning your authority and credibility. How do we know if we are bad communicators? Maybe we are rambling during presentations or meetings, losing people's attention constantly, getting defensive when your ideas are challenged. Because we have to remember that communication is not only about expressing ourselves, it's a two-way street where we need to listen, process, and discuss in a civilized manner. I once saw a leader completely lose their audience during a big pitch because they got flustered by a simple, tough question. Their inability to communicate confidence undermined their credibility, even though their idea was solid. Their presence and tone was off, they were not captivating, and they were too nervous. So the voice shake a lot, and then we were not able to focus fully in their message because she was so nervous that was making everyone else nervous. Emotions are contagious, and when we see someone nervous, we start feeling nervous too. It's a terrible domino effect. So how do we fix it? You could hire a leadership coach. Actually, if you're interested in working with me, you can apply in the link below. I can help you excel in all the skills that will make you an amazing leader, including communication. Then you can prepare thoroughly before important conversations. Practice your key points and anticipate potential pushback. Empathy is key, as standing on the other person's shoes by trying to think on what are their concerns, what they care about, so you tailor your pitch towards that angle. And honestly, there are so many things we can do to improve our communication skills. That could be a whole video just about that. If I were to ask you to do just one thing, it would be to practice your message, your delivery, your tone, your rhythm, melody, gestures. The more you practice, the more confident you will feel. And practice beyond your delivery. Rethink your angle, your pitch. Make the sequence as logical and clear as you can. Something that I love to remind myself is that when I'm trying to pitch an idea or influence someone, I don't want to be clever. I want to be clear. Alright, the final and last mistake is always saying yes. Leaders who agree with everything lose respect because they come across someone without opinions. Great leaders know when to challenge the status quo. They can be contrarians and they are not afraid to express their views. And yes, they may lack context, they may not know all the details. So that's why, as leaders, we should always ask for those details and understand the big picture. It's our duty to understand the ideas, proposals, and recommendations, or even the direction that the team is planning, so we can fully analyze the idea and give the right direction and guidance. From all my research and clients I have worked with, the leaders who make this mistake always say yes to every request, even when it doesn't align to their team's priorities. And they say yes from both their team, peers, and higher ups. These leaders try to avoid tough conversations or contrarian viewpoints to keep the peace. And to be honest, of all the 5 mistakes, this is the one that I see myself falling more. Every time someone tells me about an improvement we should do, I always go into yes mode. I love everything related to continuous improvement, so anything that will be more efficient and effective, I say yes, 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 let's do it. This will enable better analysis and understanding, and I go yes, full yes mode. It's terrible. It can be a double-edged sword because that ambition can jeopardize my team's job number 1 if I am not on top of the priorities and guiding them on how to organize themselves. I get so excited with new features that will give us more productivity that I tend to commit my team on new ideas, new developments that will derail their attention for the job number 1. And that's where I have to be very careful because they need my guidance and my clarity. And if they think this is very important for me, they may deprioritize other things that are actually our job number 1 due to all my enthusiasm. The thing is that we must be clear that saying yes has a price. We have to deprioritize something to deliver that new result with the same amount of resources. So next time someone asks you for something, think first, what is the ROI of this? Is this worth to deprioritize something else to obtain this new thing? Alright, let's recap the 5 mistakes that destroy leadership credibility. Lack of acumen, poor hiring decisions, avoiding accountability, weak communication skills, and always saying yes. These aren't just minor missteps, they're habits that can erode trust over time. But the good news, each one is fixable with the right mindset and systems. Start implementing these fixes today and you will not only protect your credibility, but you will improve it. See you around. Bye.